Cowards are the ones who allow their actions to be decided by fear.
That's right.
If you are inspired by love, it doesn't mean that you become a doormat and you do what you see the Archbishop of Canterbury doing, where he kisses the hand of extremists, welcomes them into his mansion.
Boo.
These same creatures from Pakistan who call for the persecution of Christians in Pakistan.
Boo.
He's afraid. The welfare benefit system certainly is part of a problem in the way that it's structured.
It is the problem.
No.
We attract garbage into this country who don't want to contribute to this country. They're not interested in the future of this country. They're not interested in protecting this country.
Yeah, well,
right, so, you know, you get rid of the welfare state, hey presto, you get rid of all the problems.
We need to get out, we need to stop following the liberal politicians. Basically. That's what we need to do. We need to get rid of the Conservatives, the Labour, the Liberal Democrats, find a minority party you support and support it. Because the ideology of the liberal establishment means that they are incapable of addressing the problem. And they are afraid. But there is another fear. A fear that I think many of you on this march also might have. And so it's to that fear that I address. It is a fear of Islamisation.
I was a UKIPper. I was a UKIPper. Oh, thanks, man. Oh, yeah, got a photo. I don't smile though.
Hatton was here about an hour. She came earlier.
Hatton? No, I think you're there.
Yeah, I was going to here.
It's going to be too packed up. I think the cause is a good one. I don't smile though. I think the cause is a good one. And increasingly what we're finding is that
put it under Rod Speak as well. No, Rod Speak is cool now. I'm on Twitter as well.
It is. It was just funny yesterday actually.
We need to leave in a bit.
How are we doing, Rich? You all right?
We'll try and get you in, but I don't know if I'm going to get through. But if you come with us,
yeah.
I just got to pass on him only.
Let him go. I'll stay here. Hold the fort here. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, free speech is being limited. Yesterday, two Christians from DCCI were challenging an Islamic dawah table, and a host of Muslims, quite angry and agitated, were around them. And one of them was trying to incite the others against the two. And as I was walking past, I spotted one guy being particularly aggressive to a sister called Hatun. I challenged him. He was calling her a bitch, and he was telling her brother Daniel to take his bitch away from the Islamic dawah table. I challenged him. He told me to fuck off. Then he started to push me. You know, and then this is the kind of atmosphere that we've got.
Yeah.
You know, and then they call the police. We live in a society now where we're caught between two fears. People do need to wake up, but the church also needs to wake up. Those of us who call ourselves Christians need to wake up and stop sitting in the back benches hoping that somehow this tussle between effeminate liberalism and a thuggish Salafism is going to work out in our favour. It's not going to work out in our favour. It's going to work against us. Do you need to come closer? Okay, great. So the church needs to accept that it has to come to the front of this struggle and to stand up for what it believes in and to stand up for its own identity. Because British society right now is caught between two fears. The fear of the liberal elite who believe that if push comes to shove, the vast majority of Muslims will side with the Salafists against the rest of us. And so they acquiesce to the demands and they turn a blind eye to the crimes of members within the Muslim community, like what happened in Telford and what happened in Rotherham.
Raping of innocent children.
The raping of innocent children.
Over 40 years.
Absolutely, that the police deliberately ignored because the ideology of the liberal establishment means that they are incapable of addressing the problem. And they are afraid. But there is another fear. A fear that I think many of you on this march also might have. And so it's to that fear that I address. It is a fear of Islamisation.
Yeah.
That Islam will take over.
Yeah.
I want to say to you, as a Christian, that perfect love casts out fear. The way to respond to Islamization is not with anger, but with hope. A hope and a strong sense of a Christian identity, standing up for Christian values, on the Christian history of the country, standing up in strength for what we as Christians believe. Fear will defeat you.
No, fearless. We don't care anymore.
Be fearless.
Fearless, come on.
Revelations. In the book of Revelations, it says quite clearly, cowards go to hell.
Yeah.
Cowards are the ones who allow their actions to be decided by fear.
That's right.
If you are inspired by love, it doesn't mean that you become a doormat and you do what you see the Archbishop of Canterbury doing, where he kisses the hand of extremists, welcomes them into his mansion.
Boo.
These same creatures from Pakistan who call for the persecution of Christians in Pakistan.
Boo.
He's afraid. Love means that you stand up for your community. Love means that you stand up for the truth. Love means that you stand up for your own identity.
Yeah.
And if that means you end up in conflict, so be it.
So be it.
So be it.
So be it. Enough's enough.
If that means you are in conflict, so be it. It doesn't mean that you're looking for a fight. It just means that if a fight comes to you, you won't run away.
That's right.
We will fight for our future.
If you are a Christian and you can hear my voice, you need to fight for the church to be triumphant.
That's right.
If we don't stand up for the church, the Christian community, then we don't stand up for anything that England has stood for the last 2,000 years. Since the 4th century, England has been a Christian country. Christians arrived in Roman times, in the 2nd and 3rd century. You cannot defend an English identity if you separate that English identity from a Christian one. So I encourage you all, if you feel that my words resonate with you, and you think that I am saying something noble and true, then I encourage you to pick up your Bible and to start reading it. To start reading about the church history. And more than this, don't just treat it as an intellectual exercise. Incorporate it into your very being. Instill it within your heart and your soul. Allow it to affect the values that you live by. How you treat your family. How you love your neighbour. How you stand up for what is right and against what is wrong in your communities. Whether that means standing up to thuggish Salafism, as we do here at the corner, or standing up to the drug pushers, or the cowardice of the liberal establishment, which is what many of you are here to protest against. As Christians, We have civilized Europe. Centuries ago, Europe was invaded by barbarians. Our ancestors, believe it or not, were all savages. Worshipped trees, sacrificed children. Christianity civilized it. It made Europe into a jewel of the world. I think that probably ends today's We need to get out, we need to stop following the liberal politicians.
Yeah.
Basically.
I know.
That's what we need to do. We need to get rid of the Conservatives, the Labour, the Liberal Democrats, find a minority party you support and support it. If we fill the Parliament full with minority parties, they'll be forced to think differently.
If not, how many years have we got left?
Well, I think part of the problem that I didn't get on to talking about, because Tommy's arrived and obviously he's going to be the centre of the thing tonight, but part of the problem that we face is the English have forgotten the importance of the family. Liberalisation and liberal social teaching over 70 years has destroyed the concept of the family as an institution and a tradition. And so many of us now, myself included, come from broken homes. And we're not having children because our children don't believe in family. So our children are interested in going out and practicing a hedonistic lifestyle.
And to be honest, if you work, it's very difficult to have a large family. If you pay your taxes and you're trying to save for a mortgage, we're in a different ballgame if you're not on the benefit system. Well, we pay our way, so we have to think about how many children we have. I think I'm not going to criticise groups for having large families. I am if they can't afford them, and I've got to pay for them.
Well,
exactly.
I think you're
it's a
right
welfare
to say
state which is at fault here. You know, we give free money to people who don't work, come into our country and have 10 kids, right? And then they turn on us, right? It's just not on.
And even people that are born here.
Yeah. I'm a real racist.
Another point.
It's pathetic though, isn't it? It really is pathetic. Yeah? They don't do it.
But allow me to address this problem because
I brought my family with me.
I think part of the problem amongst those of us.
No, the problem is the welfare state.
No.
The welfare state. You get rid of child benefit and hey presto, you get rid of all the working age benefits and hey presto, the problem solved.
Nobody goes to a country where there's no
Exactly.
Permit me to reply. Guys, permit me to reply. The welfare benefit system certainly is part of a problem in the way that it's structured.
It is the problem.
No.
We attract garbage into this country who don't want to contribute to this country. They're not interested in the future of this country. They're not interested in protecting this country.
Yeah,
right? So, you get rid of the welfare state, hey presto, you get rid of all the problems.
The issues that you're talking about, what you touched on there was immigration.
No, I'm not talking about immigration. I'm talking about the welfare state and attracting garbage into this country.
May I reply? You've touched upon the immigration policy. You've touched upon the fact that we don't teach children to be patriotic. You've touched upon the fact that of the benefit system.
When you say we,
every problem.
You're meaning us. I never say we. I say politicians, police, social services. We are the backbone of this country.
Who is voting?
If we didn't pay our taxes,
Time our voice was heard.
You know?
But who's
we pay the taxes so this garbage can come into this country and live off us.
I don't vote for
Who's
them.
voting for them? You see, if you're voting Labour, Conservative or Liberal Democrat, you're helping to create the problem.
Yeah, but people don't want Labour in, so they vote tactically to vote for Conservative.
But that's the problem.
I know it is.
I went to vote on Thursday. I had Conservative or Labour. That's all that was on the voting paper.
So you
In that case,
But did you vote?
Exactly. You spoil the paper.
spoil the ballot paper.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. We've
And
got
no
to.
more postal voting. That's
You
all.
don't.
Exactly.
That's all it
There
is.
ID on voting as well. They've done that in several areas. If you've got ID and proof that you are here, you have the right to vote. It'll get rid of a lot of fraud and
We don't ask you too much. We just want equality, freedom of speech.
Quality of opportunity.
You know.
Quality of opportunity.
Politicians don't use common sense. They use political.
Guys, I'm going to let you have your conversation. I'm going to go and do some more filming.
Pleasure to
Where's
meet you.
Nice to meet
Which
you.
Which way's the march
This is
going? That
SOCO
way or that way?
Not contact over everything.
Things that way.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you guys.
Take care.